Hey, welcome back to Last Night I Watched. My name's Kristian, and I'm here with Ian, Mark, and Carlos, and today we're going to talk about the fourth episode of the new Halo series called Homecoming.
See these holes on the top plate? That's where the needle rounds are primed. You pull the trigger. Somehow they just know how to target living tissue.
As close as you get to fire and forget, ma'am.
As soon as the needles hit the target, they super combine and bam! All you see is a big pink mist of blood and evaporating body fluids.
Massive damage.
I know what a needler is, okay?
Covenant have another word for it. What is it again?
Repos.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Repos.
So, on this episode, we go back to a couple homes of the characters, Quan and John. But, the episode's called Homecoming, so they both go back to their home planets, so, that's cool, I guess. There's just not enough for me, as I've said in previous episodes. I'd like to see more things happening. Less predictability, things like that. I don't know. So far, just, still very mid for me. What do you think, Ian?
I mean, same thing. We were while we were watching the episode, we were talking about, it's the whole Patton Oswalt thing. I played you guys the Patton Oswalt joke last week about the Star Wars prequels.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same fucking thing. I don't give a shit what he did as a little kid. I don't care that he buried his dead dog in the backyard. What else does he do in those flashes? He's just hanging out with his parents and then...
drawing things?
Yeah, he's drawn the artifact.
Yeah, I guess he came up with it as a
I
kid.
I guess.
I found that whole thing so confusing.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't tell his dad what he was drawing. And
Right.
It's very vague.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, what else? Bokeem Woodbine, I guess, kind of had a decent action sequence. But then again, they're like driving around in like a Cadillac Escalade with motorcycles. It's like, what the hell? Like, this isn't like, what is this? This feels like you brought up James Bond.
Yeah, it felt, there's parts in this that felt a little bit like a modern day James Bond movie.
Yeah, and again, it was cool to see Master Chief driving around in a Warthog, but at the same, it kind of takes me out of it when the other bad guys are driving around in what looks like modern day vehicle equipment. It's just strange, and a lot of ass, a lot more ass,
more ass than ever in this episode.
Yeah, a lot of butts.
We're keeping it up. We're keeping up.
Female
the ass
butts,
ratio.
male butts, a lot of butts.
We love the ass.
See more butts.
everywhere a butt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the plot. If I liked anything about what was the plot? They go back home, hence Homecoming.
Yeah, both John and Quan go home.
I mean, I like Bokeem Woodbine. We've already talked about it. I like him a lot as an actor, so whenever he's on screen, it's cool. But Quan's backstory, I'm not really that interested in. Her dad's dead, and they're having like a memorial for him, and then it gets interrupted for some reason. Do you remember why it got interrupted?
The Matrix-looking dudes come in and,
right,
start beating him up.
Is that the same? Is that the French guy from? He almost looks like the French guy from the Matrix sequels.
You know
what I'm talking about? Yeah.
The Merovingian.
Thank you. The
He kind of does
Merovingian.
look like
Yes.
him, but no, it's not.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'll pass it off to either Mark. Do you want to go?
Didn't Kwai start a ruckus at the memorial? And that's what brought in the
Yeah, but
stormtroopers, for want of a better word.
it is a TV show, and it should give them excuses. But also, she started yelling, and then all of a sudden, all the goons started swooping in, and it's like, how'd these guys swoop in so quick? Unless they were staking out the joint anyway, waiting for something to happen at the big boss's funeral.
You see them show up.
They start skirting in. Skirt.
Yeah.
Hey, get him.
There's a few shots where you see them walking towards, I guess, wherever the memorial is.
Oh, really? I missed that.
Yeah, there's a couple shots of that.
I saw the part where they pull up in their Escalades and start honking their horns.
What the fuck?
Little clown car Escalades in the
I'm
Halo
looking at my
universe.
phone and I just heard fucking. That was great.
They're like,
That
break up
was
the
awesome.
funeral, break it up,
That's-
break it
that's-
up.
that was
And they start shocking people and everything.
I'm losing faith more and more every week with this show. But the thing of it is, I mean, it's a treasure hunt. It's a fact-finding mission. It's just kind of, it's everything that you would want, I guess, in a show. But they need to have, like I said last week, they have less of that, pull it back a little bit, and have more Bokeem shooting people if that's the case. You know, have that kind of stuff going on, more action. I mean, you got this really, really badass dictator dude that is basically running the planet.
Governor
Madrigal.
Venture?
Hmm?
Governor Venture, I think is his name.
Okay.
The guy that looks like the Matrix guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's running the Madrigal.
Okay. I see.
Right. I
Governor
mean,
Venture's, he's coming. Governor
Okay.
Venture.
Gotcha.
Watch out.
but you got this really mean dude that shoots people in the back of the head, and nobody is shooting back at this cat, man.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like you said, all this stuff with John and digging holes and all that kind of stuff. You know, this had better lead to something, and
Yeah.
it better lead to something big.
Right.
As far as what's her name, Kai 125, the blonde, digging out her hormonal chip. That was kind of cool. Trying to, you know, see what John is seeing and that kind of stuff. I think that was a cool thing to do. And you got Bokeem, man, shooting people down with a gold revolver. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. So, but like I said, it's going downhill, and it better plateau and start going up pretty quick.
Right.
Carlos, what do you think?
Yeah, I think episode 3 was it was going up in an upwards trajectory. This one did slightly tilt down for me, episode 4. But I did see a couple things I liked. I mean, we're opening with the child training, because we all know that Spartans, they were abducted as children, and Dr. Halsey trained them to be Spartans and injected them with hormones and everything. So it's kind of cool to see the kids, and we have all their names from the program. But then, like, in the first 12 minutes, we flip back and forth between, like, 3 or 4 different planets. We go to Reach, we go to Madrigal, we're back on Aridinus 2.
Right.
I'm like, oh man, I better write all these down, because
Yeah.
I'm gonna forget. Oh, and then we go back to Bokeem's place is called, it's not called the Stacks, is it called the Rocks?
Maybe.
It has a pretty clever name, but yeah, so Kwan's trying to convince him to go back to her homeworld to liberate it. I did appreciate seeing a little bit more of Silver Team. That was probably the highlight for me, was Kai was there, Spartan Vanak, and Riz 028. I did like the part where Kai took out the chip from her back. I know that when this show was originally teased for the teaser trailer, we do see a blonde Spartan with color in her hair, and the internet was going wild saying, oh man, they're making freaky Spartans. It doesn't make any sense. It's making me mad because Spartans have color in their hair. And actually, for some reason, this actually really worked for me. She got rid of her memory suppressors, so now she's just trying to be a little rebellious and put a little color in her hair. It kind of worked for me.
Okay.
Then we also have the Silver Team hanging out with Miranda Keyes doing experiments. I guess they're trying to figure out what the heck this artifact is. Kai's, she's like, it's not even a big deal. I'll touch it. I don't care. And at that point, I think that Miranda Keyes, she mentions Halo, and we hear the theme song again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Another slight hint that it's coming. We'll see Halo soon. They're hanging out in the lab, playing around with like needler guns and explaining, oh yeah, this one turns people into a fine mist. You ever hear a grunt scream for its life? And then Spartan Vanak's like, pathetic. I kind of like the little banter between them. It was nice. One thing that did shoot me dead in my feels was I did read the Fall of Reach book, and in that one there's a specific scene that I always remember of Dr. Halsey meeting young kid John and flipping a quarter with him. And in this one, we actually get to see him flash
Okay.
back to the quarter flipping scene in the living room. I was like, whoa, that's really cool.
Nice.
They actually included some of the lore.
Yeah.
We also hear, I think it was Kai said, oh, maybe it was the other Spartan Riz. I know all the tactics. I've been studying Sun Tzu to Preston Cole. So we got to hear Preston Cole again, which from the last episode, I think he enacts Cole Protocol to eliminate all the ship's software.
Right.
So
Is
there's-
Sung Tzu the Art of War?
Yeah.
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 Okay. That was cool.
Yeah. That's a cool little reference
Yeah.
to old boy's Sun Tzu. One thing I will talk about later on is I've been watching the after episodes. I don't know if you guys have been checking those out.
No.
They usually interview a lot of the actors, a lot of the voice talent, and they'll have like little fan segments too of people who like to do cosplay and hang out. But yeah, this episode, it was good. We got a little bit more story, not too much action. I mean, I'm hoping the next episode is better. Covenant soon, please.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, just as a fan of the games, like, just you want that so bad.
Yeah.
And we've gotten hardly any. Like, first episode and a little bit of the last one with
The worms.
yeah, the worm scene.
Which
Yeah.
Miranda Keys has like a, I don't know what to call it, an experiment of like the worms in her lab.
Oh, she did. Oh, were they in test tubes or something, kind of?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a
Okay,
big old
yeah.
test tube. So she's studying them.
Yeah.
She's studying the needlers. She's studying the worms. I think she had an elite on her scalpel table.
Right.
Right.
I thought, yeah, at first I asked Kristian, like, is that a dinosaur leg or something? And you said it's an elite hoof or something. Like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Does
Yeah.
kind of look like a dinosaur.
Yeah.
a little bit.
I don't know which one of you guys said it, but yeah, I don't give a shit about Quan's story anymore.
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
we've
the
all
weakest
said
part.
that. Haven't we all said that?
Have we said
at one
that?
point?
So-
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I didn't care that she was going to her father's funeral. That the revolution's dead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry it happened.
Yeah.
Did you
I care more
guys-
about the super soldier trying to figure out his past.
Right.
Yeah. Or did you guys catch the original Xbox Easter egg?
What? What do you mean?
They in the scene there's a little shot where it shows like a projection of Quan and it's like wanted dead or alive or something like that. And right to the left of it, you can see they actually put an Xbox with a controller right next to
The
it.
Duke.
Yes.
Was there an Xbox also? I just saw the controller. Was there an Xbox
there
also?
was an Xbox as well. And
I totally missed that. That's cool.
Yeah.
it was just like I don't know. Wait.
Shouts out.
They're trying, guys. They're trying.
Yes.
It just makes me want to go play the fucking game.
You remember
like,
the game you
yeah.
loved, right?
I
Which, by the way, I can't stand that controller.
The Duke?
I love it.
I can't. I know a lot of people. Do you like the Duke?
No, my hands were always too small.
It's so awkward and clunky, and I don't know why the hell they. I know a lot of people like it, but it's just I think I've played with it like once or twice. Whenever I'm over at or was at someone's house, I'd request the
Mad
slimmer
Cat?
the slimmer design.
can I get
Not
the
the
Mad
Mad
Cat?
Cat. No, I was not a Mad Cat fan. But yeah, the S design, the slimmer design, I always preferred those controllers. Those were really good. I don't know, man. It's just like, hey, there's an Xbox, and I just don't like that stuff. It's like, okay, and
Like
your point.
An Xbox actually exists in the Halo universe. Like how
That too. It's like-
are you guys are trying too hard with this. Like, please.
Yeah, I
What are you
agree
doing?
with you.
But
That's-
I didn't even notice it in the peripheral, so it's more of an Easter egg. It's like
It is an Easter egg, but
Oh, yeah.
at the same time, it's just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things where, for me, it kind of takes me out of it. Like, I'm trying to think of an example, and I can't, of course. They do that in some things, and it just kind of like, it takes me out of, it's just, if you're trying to build lore and a whole new universe, maybe putting in something from, like, our universe, maybe that's not a good idea. Like, an original what's that do? It's just, I don't know. Anyway.
It takes you out of it like CGI Mark Hamill took you out of
Sure.
Boba Fett.
Sure, but that's for other reasons. That wasn't just like, hey, look at this, wink, wink, nudge, 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 nudge.
Yeah.
This is just like, hey guys, remember playing this? Now you're watching the show? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm more of the casual viewer, so I would point at the screen like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah,
There it is. There's an
yeah.
Xbox.
Right. And that's the thing
And I
too
get
with
excited real quick.
the Needler and talking about. I want to see the Needler. I don't want to hear you talking about it and what it does. I want to see what it does. I don't want to hear about the grunts. I want to see the grunts.
Right.
It's just like jerking you off without actually making an orgasm. It's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think I pointed it out last episode too. We heard grunts referred to like twice in episode 3.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
give me my grunts.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Can we
Seriously.
see this? This is what I've been saying. I like more.
Yeah.
Please.
Yes.
What are the mystics?
The Mystics.
The mystics.
They bring out the mystics. I don't even
Yep.
know.
Kawan's father
Sounds like a
visited the mystics, came back changed. He still was their leader and fought the covenant.
Whoa.
I
even
don't
remember that.
understand. I read about it last night.
They say that in the episode.
I read about it.
Oh, I
That
have
he
no idea.
did do this.
I have no idea.
Wait, wasn't the aunt talking about that to Quan? She explained how your dad, like you just said, he went
Yeah.
off to see the Mystics.
Yeah.
I have no idea who the Mystics
But if he
are.
came back
Yeah.
changed, we don't know what he was like the first place,
True.
other than her word.
Yeah.
And how he changed.
yeah.
Meaner, not as mean. You
Yeah.
know, loved goats. What's the deal? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, because we only got him for like the first 10 minutes of episode 1, so
Right,
we really
yeah.
don't know the guy well.
Right.
I don't even know if he's somebody that I want to support.
Yeah. That's
Maybe
a
I
good
like the
point.
guy
Yeah.
who's executing people on
Yeah.
Magic Ball better. I don't know.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And one more thing. We had talked about him removing his helmet, and, we had a discussion about that. Well, there were a few shots of him where you could see like half of his cheek, his nose, a little bit of his eye, like a half a profile. And I was thinking if they did that the entire time, where you don't necessarily see the whole thing, what he looks like, but in the end you could see maybe enough of his expression. So maybe that would appease both camps.
Oh, I see what you're
Yeah,
saying. Kind of
I
hiding
guess.
it.
guess. Yeah.
I mean, I really like that shot.
They were okay. I don't know. What do you think of that?
I mean, I can't stand how often he has his helmet off. Like, for years and years, like, playing the games, I'd always be like, I want to see his face, I want to see him take it off. Like, but not this much. Like...
Yeah.
You finally got what you wanted. and-
Yeah.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
yeah.
Like, just...
Uh,
And even when he has his helmet on, they still manage to show his face.
Yeah, that's
Like-
what Mark was just. That's what. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're talking about, right? Like it's like his peripheral. in the
Yeah,
helmet,
the helmet's on. You see it's just a tiny bit.
I do like that shot. That's a pretty cool
But it's
shot.
like,
It is
but,
cool.
but why is the helmet on then if we're still gonna see his face? Like, you
It's
know what I
kinda like
mean?
a-
like,
It's like a Iron Man's Tony Stark thing where
Okay.
it's looking inside of the computer
All right.
or inside of the helmet.
yeah, that's a
And you
good.
can see all his heads-up displays and everything.
That's a good
It's exactly
comparison.
like Iron Man.
Yeah, that's true.
Which I don't know if you guys noticed, but when it does do that front shot, looking at his face inside of the helmet, you can see his HUD and you can actually see like the radar.
Oh, I didn't
Down
notice
below.
that.
Yeah, I
Wow.
noticed that.
I didn't notice that.
So when he's
that's neat,
like,
but
when he's looking at like the kid version of him, you can see another blip on his radar
Oh.
in front of him. Kind
Yeah.
of interesting.
There's a couple dots on
Yeah.
the radar.
okay.
Somebody's hanging out with him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if they just didn't show him with his helmet off so much, maybe I'd like that more. The seeing him. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I correctly predicted right when he was going to take his helmet off again in one scene. Like, he's seeing flashbacks of his past or whatever when Cortana's, like, doing the recreation or whatever of his house, his old house. And he's, like, getting all emotional and stuff. And I'm like, he's about to take his helmet off, isn't he? And that's what he does. It just takes it right off. And I'm like, oh, okay. He'll put it back on when he gets back in the Warthog, right? Yep, okay.
Yeah.
And the thing too is, he doesn't act a lot different than he did before he took the chip out.
That's a good point,
No.
actually.
He's still really wooden, and
Yeah, that's a good point.
maybe it's just the actor's limits. I don't know.
That's what-
Hopefully
yeah,
he will
I
get
kinda-
better.
I brought that up, I think, in the third episode to you, just like how the guy's just kind of there.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
mean, his whole thing, how wooden he is. I mean, it doesn't help, at least in my opinion, make him more interesting. I think his story is the least interesting thing in this show so far.
Even more so than Kwan's?
Yeah.
Really? Wow, okay.
Yeah, I think so.
At least she's got a badass with her.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bokeem Woodbine. If Bokeem Woodbine and Master Chief were together, that'd be fucking awesome. Actually doing stuff.
Why aren't they?
Shooting shit, blowing shit up, that'd be awesome, but...
They have history. I mean, so did
Yeah.
him and Halsey, but
Well, that's not interesting history to me.
yeah.
Seeing her with him as a little kid flipping a coin. You know, I mean...
Yeah, it wasn't the most interesting scene. It was just cool to see it.
Yeah, I
actually
get
pop out of
that.
the
Yeah, I
pages.
get that. At least they were paying respects to the books. That's cool. But
That is cool. I didn't even know that was a thing in the books.
yeah, I didn't either. But,
I had Fall of Reach. I didn't read much of it.
I know that's the thing is I'm not the biggest reader, so I do like it when we get these movies or these TV shows
Yeah.
because it's the pages coming to life, so I don't have to read.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
My biggest enemy, reading.
Yeah.
I can just visualize it. So you guys are saying that you guys don't like how wooden John is, but I think that's one of my favorite things about Silver Team is how wooden they are. We got that banter between Spartan Kai and Spartan Vanak. She's like, so what, you want to say something to me about my hair? What do you want to say? And he says, you look stupid. Get that gun grease out of your hair, you nerd. Because they're soldiers. They're not supposed to think or color their hair or anything. And
Right.
that's probably what the fans want. Get that gun grease out of your hair, you loser.
Yeah.
Quit feeling things and perform.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: she did that almost right off the bat. You know, I mean, she's already starting to feel stuff and that kind of thing. There is no way that John is going to put gun grease in his hair
Yeah.
at this point, and he should be like dipping his head in it. You know, because he's had that capsule out for so long.
Was that what it was? Gun grease?
No, I think it was blood.
It
Wasn't
looked like blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did.
I thought so too, but I think I hear Spartan Vanak. He says, "Get that gun grease out of your hair."
Is he just calling it that to like? I don't know. I don't know what kind of gun grease looks like that, but this is Halo, so I guess it could look like anything. But anyway.
Because she was cleaning her rifle when she colored her hair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, unless she
That's
had
true.
grunt blood in it or something.
Maybe.
that
Yeah.
she-
Well, wasn't
Put it
grunt
here.
blood blah? That's a tongue twister. Wasn't grunt blood green or blue?
Yeah. All the
Anyway.
alien blood's like blue and
Right.
stuff. So it must be gun grease. I'll take
Yeah,
them for the
okay.
word. You
Okay.
know, I'll take them at their word.
Yeah.
Red gun grease.
Plasma rifle. Scurry.
Yeah. There you go.
But yeah, I did not like the ending. It felt off. It was like Halsey doesn't accept glitches or something.
Right.
Like, okay.
That's how it ends, right? That's
Yeah.
the last line of the episode, right?
Like,
That
whoa,
line did
doesn't
not
like
hit.
glitches.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is epic.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
I agree with your sarcasm. Yeah.
Oh, one more thing before we finish is you guys gotta watch these after shows.
Oh, yeah.
No worries.
Sorry about that.
They interviewed for episode 4 2 linguists. One graduated from Berkeley and has been developing different languages for
Wow.
TV shows and movies for like 20 years now.
Are they cunning linguists? Anyway, sorry.
His
Sorry.
name is David J. Peterson, and the other guy is Carl Buck. They created the Sangheili language just for this show,
That's cool.
and they taught Charlie Murphy. She plays the sacred one, the blonde lady who
Yeah.
was controlling the worms last episode.
Was she even in this episode?
No,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, but they were interviewed for episode 4,
Gotcha.
the after show, and they were explaining how Charlie Murphy, she just picked all this stuff up super quick, and she can speak Sangheili like perfectly.
That's cool.
And they're even trying to teach us a couple words too. I couldn't say any of them right now.
Yeah.
they did there's one for the Needler that they said. I already forgot
Yeah,
what it
that's
was,
right.
but
The actual name of the gun or whatever. Is that
yeah,
what they said? It
they're
was
like,
called?
oh, it means this, or it means shit. I'm about to die.
Right. Yeah.
Or
Right.
something like that.
Yeah.
So they're also kind of trying to teach us Sangheili in the show too by saying what the Needler means.
Yes,
Kind of nice.
but I'd like to care more.
Same. Yeah.
The linguists, they actually produced the Game of Thrones languages.
Oh.
Really?
Nice. That's cool.
I can't remember what Khaleesi's husband was.
Dothraki.
Dothraki. I think
Is
they
that what it
developed
was?
Dothraki language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason, Mamma Mia.
Jason
Yeah.
Mamma Mia. Papa Pia. Yep.
So yeah, that's another little cool factoid. I mean, if you look at these behind the scenes for each episode, you see how much work they put in, how much special effects they had to do, along with practical effects. They actually do a lot of practical sets, and practical weaponry and all that stuff. So they're putting a lot of effort in this show, but it is coming out to be like just a meh kind of show.
Dull.
Unfortunately, yeah, very dull. Which is probably because we're not shooting up aliens, like Ian says. And I kind of am starting to agree. I'm ready to shoot up some aliens.
Yeah.
They gotta get there really quick.
Yeah, I saw the teaser for next week's episode. It looks like Silver Team's going to try and figure out what that artifact is that John found.
Okay.
Looks like we might get some action. I don't know. I didn't see any blasters
Fingers
in the
crossed.
If they get to the Halo ring, I expect nothing less.
Yeah.
You know.
My cousin predicts that we'll see the fall of Reach at the end on episode 9,
Okay.
and then like the
Wow.
after credits will stumble upon Halo ring
Okay.
for season 2. Maybe.
Okay.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Sure.
More action, please.
More action.
Yeah.
Bring back Bungie.
Yeah. There we go.
Well,
You want to rate it?
I'm gonna give it 2 out of 5. Ian.
I'll still go 2.5 out of 5. It's still fail. It's a failing grade. It feels like Halo fan fiction, and I don't want Halo fan fiction. I want legit. It's just yeah. I'll stick with a 2 out of 5. I think I've given every episode except number 1 2 out of 5. I think I gave 1 a 3. Why I'm giving it 2 out of 5 still, I don't really, because maybe it's just the optimist in me. It's like this might all pay off. Anyway, Mark, what are you giving this?
Mine's dropped. It's a 2.5
Okay.
out of 5. At this point, the only thing that I even look forward to seeing is Bokeem.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
he's
he's-
just flat out badass, and I like
Yeah.
watching badasses. And
Yeah, he's by far my favorite character as well.
yeah, Carlos.
Yeah, I'm going to drop to, it was last week a 3.9 for me.
Yeah.
This one is going to be a 2.5 for me. I really don't care about Quan, unfortunately. I wanted to, but I mean, we're going back to her homeworld and she's getting our aunt blasted and getting everybody stunned by the secret police. And the thing that saved it for me was hanging out in Miranda Key's lab and kind of exploring the needler gun and the Sangheili language a little bit, and kind of the Spartans' personalities, how they can talk to each other. Kai was a little bit interesting for me, just seeing her try to break out of the controllingness of those pills. And it was nice, of course, seeing that Fall of Reach shout out with the flipping of the quarter with Dr. Halsey. Other than that, yeah, it's pretty forgettable.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2.5. Hopefully next week, guys.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week
Yeah, and fingers crossed.
for episode 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thanks for reviewing Halo episode 4 with me. Thanks for listening at home. Like and subscribe. And we'll be back next week for episode 5. You want to do your grunt scream to sign off?
Wow.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.
Wart.